What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap Show. We got college football week 6, baby. And what's great news about college football today is we got some of the conferences coming back. Like the MAC is coming back. Obviously, they're not playing a lot of games, only 6 games in the MAC. I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face. I feel like the NCAA is saying, look, all the MAC schools to us obviously are like the SEC, are like the ACC, the big time big boys. Like, come on, I feel like 8 games? We're giving the Big Ten more leverage. Why not give the MAC schools a little leverage? But give the MAC some love. Hey, at least they're playing some games, right? At least the NCAA finally took ability to say, hey, look, we're going to give them leverage now. We're going to let them play. Obviously, yes, the coronavirus, everything, what's going on, it's crazy, right? It's definitely concerning, but let the athletes have some leverage. A lot of these athletes in NCAA football right now, a lot of them are on scholarships, okay? They're getting free education, so without football, it's like what's going on? That's why they are there. Like, for real life. So I think some of the athletes, they should be blessed. And a lot of people ask me, hey, Cap, should NCAA athletes be paid? And I say, look, if their jersey is a sellout, and it sells out across the country, 100%, pay that athlete. And this brings me back to the story. I know I said it before with dealing with Tim Tebow back in Florida University, Florida Gators. I said, look, if Tim Tebow were to get paid when he was there, he would have made millions, right? Florida would have owed Tim Tebow millions. And I still think Florida Gators definitely should write Tim Tebow a couple checks from what Tim Tebow did for that organization. Not just Tim Tebow. There's many athletes like, for instance, Johnny Manziel was one. Reggie Bush. Yes, I get it. They stripped Reggie Bush of his Heisman. Why? Yes, because some people were saying he was getting some surprises, presents, free cars, whatever the case was. But they were champions, dude. They stripped them. But NCAA, I do believe the NCAA has a lot of power. And to say every NCAA athlete should be paid, no, they shouldn't, because a lot of these athletes, they're already on scholarship. So in theory, they are kind of getting paid, right? If you're on a free ride scholarship, you're not paying for anything. You're not paying for food. You're not paying for room and board. You're not paying for tuition. And a lot of these college people who attend these universities, they're paying. They're going in debt a lot. We're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands. These students go in debt. This is serious. This is real life. So I think the athletes, they should say, look, they should be blessed in a way. And I get it. I think at the end of the day, they should get paid if their jersey sells. I feel like that's really the only way. I don't think, 10 years from now, we should start paying NCAA athletes. I think that's really ignorant, except, for the fact that their jersey sells. That's it. But long term, to pay NCAA athletes, I think, no, I don't like that aspect at all. And then eventually we're going to say, hey, well, let's pay the top high school athletes. Like, come on. We're getting way out of line on this one. But college football week 6 is here, baby. We got some big games, including the U versus Clemson, obviously the biggest game of the week. We got some other big games, too. We got Florida at Texas A&M. Florida's 6.5 point favorites. I like this. I like Florida here. Look, Texas A&M isn't the team, obviously, what they used to be with Johnny Football. 58's the over-under in this game. But Texas A&M can still win this game, no doubt. I just like the way Florida's playing the past 2 games. Florida's proven to me, look, dude, if Florida runs the table, potentially they are definitely going to the playoffs. Their quarterback, Kyle Trask, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Trask, excuse me. He's 51 for 71, 684 yards passing with 10 touchdowns and only 1 pick. Let that sink in. 10 touchdowns and 1 pick, that's pretty good for this Kyle dude. I'm telling you, he's an elite quarterback, and I think right now, if he keeps performing at this high level, throwing touchdowns after touchdowns a game, I do believe he could be front runner of the Heisman. I know it's really early to tell right now, but I'm telling you, he has that ability. No doubt about it. Then we got his receiver, Kyle Pitts. He's got 12 receptions, 227 yards, and 6 touchdowns through 2 games. That's pretty good. That's telling me, look, Florida likes to throw the ball. They like to throw the ball, spread it out, and really just control you, and really pick out your weaknesses. And that's how they win. For real. And then we have Texas A&M. Kellen, their quarterback, he's 42 for 72 with 507 yards passing and 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Look, with Texas A&M, obviously, yes, they're at home. They have that advantage, but I got to go Florida on this pick. I'm going Florida. I'm taking the points on this pick. I think, it would be ignorant to pick against Florida, how hot they are. And I know I said a couple weeks ago, Pittsburgh was the hottest team, and I picked them, and they ended up getting beat that weekend, right? It's crazy, but it's just so iffy, but I still got to stick with my gut, and I'm going Florida. I like the spread. 58 is the over-under. I like to go with the over here. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I feel like Florida's going to score in the 40s, in Texas A&M somewhere in the 20s in that aspect. So I love Florida in this pick, so go Florida. I'm telling you, Florida Gators, baby. Let's go! Then we got Virginia Tech versus North Carolina. North Carolina's 5-point favorites. Obviously, North Carolina, they've been playing well. Sam Howell, their quarterback, he's 39 for 60, 520 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and three interceptions through 2 games. That's a little iffy. I still want to see North Carolina really start to hit the momentum button here. Start to say, hey, look, we need to start really going here. Because they got Notre Dame, and I believe they have Clemson, too. The ACC, dude, is no joke this year. For real, I'm telling you. D. Brown, their receiver, he has 10 receptions for 154 yards through 2 games. Hey, look, Virginia Tech's no pushover. I think this game can really go either way. This is really a coin flip in my situation. Braxton B., their quarterback, he's 16 for 36, 269 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And Herbert, he has 26 carries for 312 yards and 3 touchdowns. They like to run the ball. And giving it to Herbert, I feel like if Virginia Tech controls the clock, controls the momentum, I do believe Virginia Tech can win this game. Really boils down to how good can they run the ball and control the clock and really keep Sam and North Carolina's offense off the field. So I think, Virginia Tech has a good shot here. Like I said, this is really a coin flip. I'm leaning more towards North Carolina, but as I look at this matchup, dude, I really think Virginia Tech can get him here. This might be an upset alert here. So, but I still got to go North Carolina. And people out there, five's really not that much, but I still would go money line on this pick. It's because I really do think this is going to be a close game, but I got to go North Carolina. 59 is the over-under. I like to go with the under here. I don't think it's going to be a super high-scoring game, but typically at the beginning of the season, these football games are really high-scoring games, so it would be crazy to always go under, but I'm going with the under on this one, and I'm going North Carolina. Then we got Mizzou, M-I-Z-Z-O-U versus LSU. Yes, obviously LSU lost their home opener. That was sad, but they're 14-point favorites here. I love this pick. Mizzou obviously is not good. They haven't won a game this year. So, for me, Miles, the LSU quarterback, he's 50 for 83, 682 yards passing, 7 touchdowns and 3 picks through 2 games. Pretty decent, right? Pretty good numbers, but I still want to see LSU really, obviously, if LSU wants to make the playoffs, they have to win out. They have to win every game on, and they got to beat Bama at some point. They got to beat Georgia. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for LSU to repeat. After, Joe Burrow and a bunch of guys went to the league. Look, dude, it's really an uphill battle for LSU, but never give up. LSU is the team that could really come back. More likely, we will see an SEC school team in the playoffs with a 1 loss. I really do think that. With 1 loss, SEC team will be in the playoffs. It's common. I'm telling you. John Emery Jr., he has 19 carries for 130 yards and 1 touchdown. Look, I feel like LSU is going to control the clock, really run the ball down Mizzou's throat. For real, dude. And then Connor B., Mizzou's quarterback, he's 20 for 35, 286 yards passing and just 1 interception. That's not cutting it, and I think that's really why Mizzou's not been great, dude. Their quarterback play's been really subpar. Larry Roundtree III, he has 32 carries for 151 yards and 1 touchdown. Larry's really gonna have to run the ball great against LSU to even make this a game. But I like LSU in this pick. I'm taking the spread here. 54 is the over/under. I like to go with the over on this pick. And like I said, I'm taking the points here. I'll take the 14 LSU all day, every day against this team. Then we have Texas versus Oklahoma. This is one of the best rivalries in college football we've ever seen. Oklahoma's 2.5-point favorites. 72 is the over-under, so they expect this to be a crazy high-scoring game. I'm really leaning towards more the over on this pick. On the over-under. Obviously, I don't bet on the overs-unders, but, it's interesting. But, Oklahoma, 2.5-point favorites. What they proved to me in the past, this whole season. I'm leaning, obviously, I'm going Texas in this pick. I'm going Texas. Why? I love Sam Ehlinger. I love their quarterback. I really do. He's 69 for 109, 924 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, and only 2 picks. 14 touchdowns and 2 picks. That's pretty great. The crazy numbers. Josh Moore, the receiver, he has 11 receptions for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Crazy. But Oklahoma, Spencer Rattler, C69 for 94, 977 yards passing, 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Crazy. And then we have Austin, their receiver. He has 11 receptions for 174 yards. I expect Spencer and Sam to have a breakout game here. I expect them to throw for about 4 touchdowns apiece and really be a high-scoring game. That's why I'm really going with the over. But like I said, I'm going Texas here. I think Texas has something to prove. These teams both lost already, which is crazy. I thought, they would both be undefeated going into this matchup. But I feel like whoever wins this game right here, right now, this weekend, I really think they could possibly still have that shot to get into the playoffs. We will see a one-loss team in the playoffs. I do believe that. No doubt about it. It's really matter who's it going to be. Who's it going to be after 3 games? Obviously, but I'm telling you, I'm going with Texas here. Yes, they're the away team. They're the underdog, but I'm going Texas. I feel like Texas has something to prove. I don't know if this is the shirt or what, but I'm going with Texas, baby. Let's go. Then we got Tennessee versus Georgia Bulldogs, baby. The dogs. The dog pound. Let's go. I love it, dude. Georgia, 12.5-point favorites. I kind of like it. But, dude, Tennessee's kind of legit this year. But I'm telling you, Garrett G, their quarterback, 33 for 54, 449 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Ty Chandler, he has 32 carries, 176 yards and 1 touchdown. I feel like Tennessee, if they can run the ball, utilize the play action a lot, I'm telling you, dude, Tennessee can make this a game. Georgia, obviously, great, always, every year. Georgia seems to be great every year. Bennett, their quarterback, he's 37 for 57, 451 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Really putting up crazy numbers. I'm telling you, Z White, their running back, he has 32 carries for 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I'm leaning towards Georgia on this pick, but 12.5 is a big spread for how close this game could really be. So I would say to the sports bettors out there right now, I would go the money line on this pick. I would go money line strictly because I really think Tennessee's going to make this a game. And this could be an upset alert pick right here. This whole week, the whole week 6 could be an upset pick. A lot of upsets that could happen. But Georgia, I would go money line here. I'm going money line. 43 is the over-under. They're both undefeated. I'm telling you. So Tennessee's legit, dude. I really do think this could be an upset game. That's why I'm going money line with Georgia. 43 is the over-under. I like to go with the over on this one. I like to go with the over, although I could see it being low-scoring, a defensive battle game. I really do. That's why I don't mess with the over-unders, but I'm going Georgia with the money line. I might have to change that pick last second and go Tennessee with the upset. I know it sounds crazy. I know I like to pick upsets against Georgia, but, dude, you just never know. You never know. Then we got my team, Notre Dame versus Florida State. Notre Dame's at home. They're 21-point favorites. It's crazy. Florida State, they're 1-2. Yeah, I mean, Ian Book, to me, this is last year with Notre Dame. So, Ian Book, this is a make or break year. If Notre Dame loses a game, they're done, dude. Notre Dame, they have to go undefeated in order to make the playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No excuses for Notre Dame and Brian Kelly. I get it. Brian Kelly's going to be the coach for Notre Dame till at least 2024. And I like Brian Kelly. I'm not a Brian Kelly hater. I just feel like, yes, we've always got to the big game, right? We got to the big game, but we cannot win the big game. I want to see us win the big game. I want Notre Dame to prove me wrong. You have to beat Clemson this year. In the past couple years, we lost to Georgia twice, lost to Clemson in the playoffs. Okay, well, we know what happens in the national championship. We got blown out by Alabama, embarrassed. Really embarrassed, dude, in front of everybody. Embarrassing. But to me, Ian Book, like I said, he has to prove something here. Through 2 games, he's 31 for 50, 407 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And Williams, our running back, he's got 29 carries for 170 yards, 74 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I feel like Ian Book really has to prove it to me this year. Can you be, at the end of the day, it really comes down to Notre Dame. Yes, I'm taking Notre Dame in this pick, no doubt. The spread seems crazy. I would really lean more towards the money line pick on this pick against Florida State. But Ian Book, Notre Dame, the whole organization, it really boils down to circle the game, Clemson. Can you beat Clemson? That's really what it boils down to. Because if you beat Clemson and maybe lose another game, you could probably still squeak in. But let's be honest, you got to beat Clemson. Can you win the big game, Brian Kelly and Notre Dame? Please tell me. Inform me. Can you win the big game? Can you? Okay, I don't know. But you need to prove to me, Brian Kelly, Notre Dame organization, that you guys can win the big game. Then we got BYU versus UTSA. Who was that? That must be a D3 school or one of the smallest D1 schools I've ever heard of. BYU is 34.5-point favorites. I mean, dude, this is what really gets me is we see these bigger time schools, and BYU's not the biggest school, right? But it's who is UTSA? What? How does BYU even find these type of schools? That's what I'm saying, dude. Zach Wilson, BYU's quarterback, he's 60 for 71, 949 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. Look, dude, obviously I'm going with BYU. This would be one of the biggest upsets if UTSA wins. To me, it's crazy. UTSA's quarterback, Frank Harris, he's 53 for 80 with over 500 yards passing with 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. But like I34 dude, I'm going with BYU. BYU's running back, Tyler, he has 34 carries, 275 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So obviously I'm going BYU. I would say I'm leaning more towards the money line on this pick. 34.5. That's dude, that's crazy to me. That's you're down 34.5 already. So to me, I would say money line on this pick. 63.5 is the over-under. I feel like they're telling us, look, BYU's going to put up at least 50 points. So I'll go with the over on this pick. And obviously I'm going with BYU. I would say more towards the money line. 34.5 is crazy to me, dude. That's got to be one of the biggest lines in college football. Obviously this year, but I would say the past decade. 34.5. Dude, that's a head scratcher there. A big head scratcher. Then we got Texas Tech versus Iowa State. Iowa State is 12.5-point favorites, which they should be. Iowa State's coming out hot this year. 64.5 is the over-under. Texas Tech's quarterback, Alan Bowman, he's 73 for 111 attempts, 784 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, and 4 picks. So obviously, yes, he can get it done there with the throwing. Then we got Thompson, their running back. He has 50 carries for 268 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. But Iowa State, I'm going Iowa State here. I love their quarterback, Brock. He's 46 for 82. Not so good, right? 610 yards passing with 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. But, he had a couple big games recently. So that's why I'm going with Iowa State at home. And then we got Breece Hall. Their running back, he has 66 carries, 396 yards rushing, and 6 touchdowns. This kid is legit. I would say, yes, I like Brock, but I meant to say I like Hall a lot better. I really do. The running back for Iowa State's legit, and I expect him to get at least 20 carries, rush for over 100 yards, and over 2 rushing touchdowns. And Iowa State will win this game. I'll go with the spread. I'll take the 12.5. 64.5 is the over-under. I'll go with the under on this pick. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going with the under, but I'll go Iowa State 12.5. I'll take the point. I'll take the spread there. Then we got Arkansas versus Auburn. Auburn is 13.5-point favorites. Look, dude, this could be an upset game here. This really could. Arkansas, dude, I'm telling you, the SEC, you just never know. The SEC definitely is the best conference in college football. I feel like, overall in the past decade or even the past 2 decades, the past 20 years, SEC has dominated college football recently. Let's be honest here. Yes, recently, when I say recently, the past decade, but even before, I'm telling you, the SEC's legit, dude. Auburn, like I said, 13.5-point favorites. Auburn's quarterback, Bo Nix, he's legit. 410 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. Seth Williams, he has 9 receptions for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. Arkansas, if they win, Franks has to have a hell of a game. He has 412 yards passing with 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. I feel like if he throws for over 4 touchdowns, yes, Arkansas can beat Auburn. No doubt about it. That's what it boils down to. Can Franks really play to that level? Can he throw touchdowns instead of throwing picks? But like I said, I got to go Auburn at home. 13.5 is a heavy spread. To the sports bettors out there, I would lean more towards the money line on this pick. Go money line. Money line, you cannot fail on it. I'm telling you. Obviously, you can lose, no doubt. In order to succeed in the world, in America today, you have to fail to succeed. Sometimes you have to. Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan. He became Michael Jordan because he failed first. That's why. Okay, he just didn't succeed right away, dude. It just doesn't happen. But I'm going Auburn. I'll take the money line on this pick. Then we got the biggest game of the weekend, baby. I love it. The U at Clemson. Clemson is 2 touchdown point favorites, 14-point favorites. To me, dude, like I said, the U's legit this year. Their defense has proved to me that they're legit, and it really boils down, can the U win? And it really boils down to their quarterback, King. He's 63 for 94, 736 yards passing, and 6 touchdowns. Okay, Cameron Harris, the running back, 38 carries for 311 yards and 5 touchdowns. If the U wants to win this game, they have to control the ground. They have to control the clock. They have to keep Trevor Lawrence and Travis off the field. If they're going to even have a chance to beat Clemson, that's how they're going to win. And no turnovers. They have to play a near-perfect game to win this game, and Clemson has to throw a couple bad picks by Trevor, or just really Clemson has to beat themselves. But I'm telling you, the U is legit, dude. This is really, obviously I want to go the U. I do, but I really think Clemson, I feel like they're favorites to win it this year. Just a simple fact that obviously they got one of the best college coaches in the whole college football right now, in the whole conference, not just the ACC, in every type of conference. I love him. What he brings to the game is a game changer. He deserves it. And obviously, he signed a crazy contract, I'm going to say a year or 2 ago, worth like $100 million, maybe a little less than $100 million. Shout out to Sweeney. Dabo Sweeney, he's the man. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, I do believe Trevor Lawrence will be a number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. No doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He'll be a number 1 pick. Trevor Lawrence, 55 for 75, 848 yards passing with 7 touchdowns. Travis, their running back, he'll declare for the NFL too. He'll be a first-round pick. He has 39 carries for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm telling you, yes, I'll go Clemson in this pick. Will I go the spread? No. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do the money line, Clemson at home. Now, I'd love to see the U get the upset here. I would love that. The U, when the U is here, baby, when the U is at its best for college football, it makes college football so much better. The U really changed the dynamic of college football, since the 80s, 90s, to early 2000s, and right now. It's just been amazing to see the U where they, from how great they are. From the 80s, 90s, like I said, they had so many great NFL players, great NFL Hall of Famers that became Hall of Famers, dude. It's amazing to me. The U is just iconic, but like I said, I gotta go Clemson here. I'll take I'll go money line. I won't go the 14, but I would love to see the U get the upset. The Hurricanes, that'd be great. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm going Clemson in this pick. Then we got Bama versus Ole Miss. Bama's 23.5-point favorites. Crazy to me. Mac Jones, Bama's quarterback, 38 for 51. 684 yards passing, 684 with 6 touchdowns and 1 pick. Jalen, the receiver, he's got 13 receptions, 276 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Ole Miss, Matt Carroll, their quarterback, he has 715 yards passing, 7 TDs, and 1 pick. Look, dude, and the receiver, Elijah Moore, he's got 20 receptions, 319 yards, and 1 touchdown. Obviously, Ole Miss is definitely underdogs. I would love to see an upset here. At Ole Miss, this would be great. Eli Manning went to Ole Miss. Eli Manning, to me, a Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl champion. But obviously, I'm going Bama here. Will I take the spread, the 23.5? Absolutely not. I'll go money line on this pick. I'll go money line all day, every day. I'm taking Bama in the money line. But the biggest game yet, like I just said, the U and Clemson. This is a huge game. We're seeing these type of games. These games are going to determine who's going to go to the playoffs or not. And obviously I'm taking Clemson. But back to Notre Dame, my team. It really boils down to, can Notre Dame win the big game? It's been like that for the past 2 decades, 3 decades. They haven't won a national title since 1988, dude. Notre Dame's been in a drought for so long, dude. They are so dry. They're drier than a raisin. They're drier than your grandma, dude. Real life, dude. I can't believe it, dude. But Notre Dame, Brian Kelly, you guys proved to me, come out this weekend and destroy Florida State. And then obviously we'll talk more, Dad, if you can really beat Clemson, baby. But college football is here, baby. Conferences are coming back. Let's go!